Greetings, everyone. So it's another Saturday, and that means uh, time for the fan to blow things away. Um, that means time for some VSS 002, the space carrier. Uh, the creation originally by Victor Garcia from Victor Garcia Studios. If you don't have a VSS and want one, contact them. They are the people that do it, and they can get you started. So in the meantime, I'm working on mine. My VSS is not the standard. It's the only thing that is standard is the basic structure, the basic MDF construction, and I've been modifying my carrier from an ocean-based carrier to a space carrier, and so I'm designing my engine room right now, and I moved my VSS from out in the den area to right there. So there's the VSS. This is part of it. This is only one section. It will be twice as long and twice as high for these decks here. And that does not include the flight deck or I guess what I call the middle deck. It's like another flight deck area, and then the bridge. So it is going to be much taller than what it looks there. This is just this. This is I'm currently working on deck 4, which is the middle deck. So really, underneath there will be another deck, deck 5. And then on top of deck 4 will be the area where I'm going to have a flight deck and all the other structures on top. On the sides, on the starboard and port side, I will have launch tubes. So far, I'm thinking about launch tubes, and then probably on the bottom deck below that, on deck 5, would be a long hallway section on both starboard and port. And I have no idea what I'll do for the front parts. Maybe I'll just make them into large doors or something of that. So because it's going to be a carrier, so instead of having like a nice shaped bow in front of the ship, I may just truncate it to a door, some sort of clamshell type swinging door or something like that. So far, so don't know. But anyways, so this is it here. I'm currently working on. I don't think I can zoom into any of this. Let me change all of this to here. So this is a bit better. You can see this is the whole work area. So I'm currently working on this part. Here's a Fortnite figure for scale. You can see it's quite tall. You can have another figure on top, quite close to the ceiling. But so it's more than 200 millimeters tall. Figure being 100 millimeters. I don't have any of this secured at the moment, so if I slide this out, there might be some stuff falling. But let's see if I can slide it out, just to give it an idea. I'll just do it up to that point. So, as you can see, the way I am approaching the construction is that this part is the inner engine room part. So it's going to be constructed like a box. So I'm using the structure for the VSS as the support. And the inner section of the engine is going to be slide in as one piece. I'm debating about putting some screw holes so I can more permanently or more securely connect the engine part into the structure itself. But I kind of don't want to do that because I don't want to be altering the original VSS structure. As you know, I don't want to alter that as much as possible. So that way, if anyone out there wants to do their own space carrier or something like it, then then the ideal situation is they should be able to order all of the parts that I do from Die Warriors and be able to recreate as they see fit. So I'm trying to do it with minimal destruction to the original VSS. So I'm trying not to make any holes to the original VSS. But there might be some exceptions. And if there is an exception for the engine room part, it will be to secure the inner section right about here on both sides. The reason is because this is I don't want, there's a lot of stuff here, but the reason is this is the outer section of the engine room, and it will fit into the inner section. Should slide right in. I'm not aligning anything right now, but it should slide in. So the other thing to consider is this part is also just half. So you imagine the other half sticking out further. So picture two of these structures sticking out, and then the thrusters sticking out even further. So that's like 2.5 feet, something like that. Maybe maybe a little bit less than. But the thing is that it'll be hanging further out from the VSS itself. Very little support other than its own its own joisting, being supported by some rails here and on top. So there's going to be a lot of weight that's going to want to push it down. So it's going to want to push this section up. So this has to be strong enough to resist all of that. And accidental bumps, if it's at the convention or if it's here and I bump into it accidentally, I don't want the jar to cause some sort of damage. So it's got to be survivable like that. So anyway, that's what I'm working on at the moment. And I have some parts outside that I have painted earlier in the morning. I'll go get them in just a bit. They are ABS sheets. This is the inside here. The bottom part is wood. It will have some ABS, and that will give it some strength to secure the seams between the wood or the ABS. I'm doing some smaller beams like this, and they fit into little peg areas. So that will be glued in. And right now, nothing is glued. Everything is, so that way I can move things around. And so once I'm satisfied with how it's going to be, I'll glue it in. So what I'm going to do today is design a little horizontal part that connects these beams here. So I don't have these things attached. So when you look at them, okay, this structure down here has got some peg pieces. I'll be putting some peg stuff inside to kind of secure. It's got a screw hole inside there, so I could put like an Allen screw to secure it to the ABS on below it, if I need to. Then so on the inside there's going to be like a separation about like that much. So I'm going to design a small little horizontal piece that's going to connect. It's going to fit into the square on either end and be about so big and have it on top and bottom. So the idea with that is in case there's any twisting or something, that would help prevent the thing from twisting too much or twisting out of control. You know, I don't want to twist like that either. So the plus side is a horizontal beam going across could also be used to mount uh, console equipment, greebles, and other interesting things. So let me put this back and begin to get started. So the ABS piece is going to be next. It's going to fit on top over here once the paint dries. Then after that, I have a series of styrene sheets. In fact, let me get one. Where do I have it? Do I have it out here? I have it out here. So here are some styrene sheets that I was able to simply paint and then laser cut some seam lines around panels. So this is going to be extremely easy to apply. All I would have to do is just put them on, glue them down. They have these oval holes because I'm not using them to secure, so the little pegs will kind of fit right into the holes themselves. So that's where the styrene sheets. So the styrene is going to be the actual floor surface. So it'll be nice and polished or whatever. Can spray paint parts of that with some weathering or some rust, things like that. And also on top of that, I got a roll of, I guess, caution tape. So these are, small size. They're easy to apply. And so I'll be, putting some outlines of some caution tape around the doors and around other items like that. They also have, with some wording, I don't know if you can actually read this. So danger. Looks like it's got the biohazard piece too. So this would be good for, a zombie lab or something like that. So I'll use something like this later. So the other thing to do with the caution and stuff is that the watertight doors have a border. I have to print some more for the other side, for the side that's, if you see on the doors over there, there's no border on this side. It's only on the opposite side where the doors attach. So I need to print some more and put them on the opposite side. So the thing about these borders is that, or frames, is that I can put some caution tape along there as well, and have it like some sort of real thing. Here's the edge of a structure, caution, might be sharp or something. So so back to this. One other thing. Don't know if you can see from back there, but there's a gap right here. And so what I intend to do, not today, but is to put a very strong bulkhead. It'll be almost 2 inches wide bulkhead, about as tall as these. And that's going to support the structure, the joisting, that's going to be supporting the ceiling. So it'll be a structure like this supporting the ceiling. Back here, a little on the front, and then for the rest of the engine. And the joisting for this will eventually support the ceiling, the upper hull, and that will support the flight deck. And these are actually quite strong. And especially when you start putting multiples of them, they do carry the weight pretty well. So far, those are the only items that have been glued. Everything else has not been glued. The only other structure to really show and talk about is I am now, I don't want to say redesigning, but I'm designing the second thruster box. So I'm using wood for that. I have the first thruster box disassembled right now, so I can't really show that. So you can imagine, sticking out about this much. That is quite a bit. And then, of course, the thrusters themselves have to get 3D printed. So that's going to be about that much, longer, 3D printed part. Two of them. I don't know how many hours that's going to take. So it's a lot of work to do just on this engine component itself. And of course, the outside has to get done. The interior rooms, and this is just one part of a much larger VSS. So it's going to be a monster project. So with that said, what I want to do today is just do a quick horizontal beam to join these two parts together. And it'll be easier, faster to do it through the CAD system rather than taking a ruler or something like this, to get the distance in between. So I'll do it like that. So with that said, let's begin. Let's begin the fun of using SolidWorks. So I have a scene already set up here. Oh, let me get the comment section. And by the way, don't forget to, on YouTube especially, to subscribe to Dino Warriors TV and click like on the video. It really helps with the YouTube algorithms. So I guess I can put a little banner piece on here. There, look at that. Okay, I'll remove that in just a bit. No, I'll remove it now. I don't like to see banners. So okay, anyway, let's get to SolidWorks and do some excitement. So in terms of the bigger thing, okay, this is a horizontal beam I have set up for another SolidWorks piece. Let me bring that up real fast. And let me get into there. And let's see, one screen left. Almost there. Okay. So going to the engine folder. And let me bring up this. So it's coming. Should be coming. Okay, finally. Computer has to catch up. It's going to take like I want to say it's going to take a few seconds, but I think last time it took like a minute or so. Oh, there it is. Okay, so these are the come on. Okay, so these are the horizontal beams that I have on the previous screen. And you can see the beams are basically right there. So all I want to do today is to make a short version of a beam like this and get it ready for printing. And if you guys are still watching and everything, by the time I get done with that, I will send it to the printer. There's also another piece I want to get done later, so that might get laser cut, a floor piece I have in mind to do. And but anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the reason why I bring up this piece first is so I don't recreate the wheel of having to redo measurements. These beams you see here are the same beams that I have being used for the inner section of the engine room. So the opening squares here are the same dimensions. So what I'm going to do is I'm I'm going to start a new file from scratch. Oh, this is an assembly. So let me go. Let me find this beam. So I don't want to open an assembly for that. The way SolidWorks works is you make a part, and then multiple parts, you put it together in what's called an assembly. Okay. Let me switch back to the comments in case there's any comments. Okay. So here is the parts right here. Okay, it's not an assembly. This is the actual beam. So what I'm going to do is just basically copy paste a lot of this stuff. So I'm going to go edit sketch, and I'm going to go ahead and just copy this. Copy. Close that. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a new file, part. And I'm going to select, let's say this, let's say the right plane. Switch to view, sketch, and paste what I just did. Move it down to here. Now, one thing I need to do is, at this point, it's a 2D sketch, so I have to add the 3D part. So that's a feature. It's extruded. I'm going to extrude the part. I'm going to say from the middle, so that way it extrudes from the middle, like that. But the thing is, I don't know the length, so I'm just going to select it right here. Then I'm going to switch gears to no, not that one. Here. I am going to go ahead and close this actually, and bring up the inner part. Okay, close. And the inner part is right here. It's programs usually faster than this. It's I have a feeling with the stream going on, the live stream going on at the same time, that oh, I was off the screen, huh? That is probably putting a lot of processes on the system. So I'm going to do a cutaway view real fast. This is the technique I'm doing for most of this stuff that you see with the VSS. So I take that, I'm saying from this surface, I'm going to change the view to right here. I'm just going to say sketch. Yeah, gives a warning. Center line. All I want to do is just get an idea what's the distance between these parts. So here, there's a way to take it's a measure tool, but I find this to be a little bit faster, easier to do this type of method. So 39.95 millimeters. 39.95 millimeters. Okay, so I can get out of that. Let's get away from this cut view. And I'm going to switch to the new part that we're making. And I'm going to say, I'm going to edit the extrusion we did. 39.95. Now, this is going to be quite tight. And I explained that when you 3D print something, if something that you need to print is 1 foot long and you have a space that's exactly 1 foot long, it's going to be extremely tight to put in. Plastics do expand, and there's some shrinkage also. It depends on different factors, but so what I usually do is put a little space in between. It makes parts easier to fit. So let's see. What do I want to do with this? I want to bring up calculator. And I want to say 39.95 minus a good little rule of thumb is 0.25 millimeters. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Got some tea. Oishi. That's the Japanese name for this green tea. Good stuff. I like it. It's not like Lipton sweet tea or something like that. It's not so sweet, but it's not too bitter either. Okay, so back to the calculator. So let me, what did I do on this? Let me do it again. 39.95 minus 0.5. So 39.45. Okay, now I want to divide that by 2. Okay. I just have a little thing I'm taking a look at. So 39.45. Yeah, I could have thought of this in my mind, but kind of wasn't really thinking. So I let the calculator do it. So let's change the color to orange because that's my current standard right now for doing beams like this. Basically 3D printed parts with the VSS. I'm kind of color coding them into orange. Okay. Now this is a very small beam. I'm not sure if there's any room to put like a console. Like if I were to cut away this beam, let's say in half, it's only going to be just a few millimeters, not even an inch. And I'm looking at the VSS over there. It's probably not even going to be maybe just half an inch to attach something like a console. So I'm thinking maybe for this, maybe I should just ignore the part about putting a console into it. Instead, maybe I should put attachment points so a console can be attached to it. That might be the better way. So let's go back to the original beam, this one here. And let's go ahead and copy this. So the thing is that the way I did this beam, I did it so it would be reusable for different parts. So what I mean is there's a square piece that fits into here, okay? This square piece right there. So this square piece right here fits into this beam. So I'll do a little cutaway you get to see. So to make it easier to assemble, I have these little extrusions on the inside to block the way this little square piece from going all the way through. The reason why I have this little square piece is that I can change the shape of how these beams connect to another structure. I can replace it with peg holes, for example, screw holes. I can replace it as a hexagon on this part. It just depends how I want to do it. So I figure this, if I have a replaceable piece, I can just simply design this and make it easy to replace without having to reprint or redesign the entire beam. So with that said, let's go to the previous screen, and I have to put what's called a pane right here, plane, pane, whatever. So let's edit the feature. So we don't have to recreate the wheel. It just see, okay, it's 5 millimeters from that surface. This plane is going to be. This is just the easiest way to do it. Okay, so I'm going to do a plane, and then I'm going to do an extrusion right here. So let's go ahead and copy the extrusion to the clipboard. Copy. Close that. I want to see how thick was that copy. I mean that extrusion, maybe like 1 millimeter, I think. Yeah, 1 millimeter. Okay. So what I'll do is come back to this. Okay, from this surface, I want to insert a new reference geometry, a plane. Then I specify how far away from it. Well, in this case, I want 5 millimeters. Okay. Now I want to say I want to go the other way. So flip the offsets right there. Okay. So select that. I know I got to do this for a second time for the other side. So in terms of organization, I'm just going to go ahead and just insert another one real fast on this other side. It kept the settings from the previous. So nice. I get to just rotate the object. Okay. So I'm going to select which plane I'm going to edit on. So I'm going to do a sketch right there on that plane. Sketch. Change the view to that. Paste what we got from the previous design. Just move it into position. Then say extrude to 1 millimeter. Then I think, if I remember correctly, I didn't do this direction going outwards. I went the other direction like that. So select that. That way, from here to here, it is 5 millimeters. If I went if I had that thing extruded the other direction, then it'll be 1 millimeter. So it'd be 4 millimeters instead. And I don't want that. So I'm just going to select this plane and do the same exact thing. Sketch, sketch, change the view, make it easier. Paste. Put it into position. Then features, extruded. Yeah. Change direction. See, go like that. And select it. Now I am almost done with this. So let's go ahead and save this file, I think. File, save as. What shall this one be called? What's the original one? Side wall, horizontal beam, 1, 1. I'm just going to say this one is going to be 1. Side wall, horizontal beam, 2-1. Second version, first revision, 2, 1. Okay, there it goes. Now this is going to be printed. So I have to take into consideration what direction it's going to be printed. Best results, minimize what's going into contact with the build plate, and take into consideration what's hanging, because it's going to be fighting against gravity. See, if I were to print like this, then these beams right here, this part right here may want to droop, because I don't plan to put any support structure on that. And then the inside part may also want to droop, especially up here. So easiest way is to print it standing up. That way, the only things that would require support structure would be these faces right here, because these would be basically hanging in air. There's another solution also, which I might explore with this. One way would be to simply make one side flat. And I'm thinking, how would that affect? How would it affect that over there? Well, there's another way to do it too, which is my favorite way. Basically, build-in supports. So that's about 1 millimeter. So let's say 0.5. So this is a fillet area. Basically, it's going to round the corner, any sharp corners. So, for example, do half a millimeter fillet right there. It's going to make that corner rounded at half a millimeter, 0.5. So I'm going to select all of these corners, and you'll see why I'm doing it like this in just a moment. Go over here to do that to these also. This part can get tedious, especially if you have like a bunch of items you need to fillet. I say fillet. Is this supposed to be fillet? I don't know. Is the T silent? I don't know. Anyway, so I got those parts there. I select it. I am going to select it again. Select that feature again. Come on. Okay. So I'm going to now select this edge right here, and you're going to see it's going to trace all around it because there's no breaks. These little rounded parts here makes it into one continuous pass, like that. So I'm going to do both sides, front and back, and I'm also going to do where it connects to the structure right there, also front and back. So you can kind of see it right there. So that's the way it's going to shape. So that way it's going to be, the edges are going to be, they're no longer edges. So as the printer goes to print things, everything's going to be supported by the fillet feature. And the print will be nice and clean. So select that. The only part that won't be so clean will be these straight pieces there, but it may be so close to the other structure that when the printer does its printing, going back and forth at this area, it may be so minimal, any type of droop, it just simply won't be noticeable. In other words, the structure may, support, even that right there. So that's going to be good. Now I need to also do another fillet, 0.25, right here. I'm going to select the face so it does both sides. So that way there's no real sharp corner to the part. Now, the only other thing I can think of is attachment points for attaching things. Attachment points for attaching things. Some ports, attachment ports. I've been doing a specific oval shape on almost everything concerning the VSS. So this one doesn't have any. I need to put some on there. So what I'm going to do is bring up another piece and copy and paste what I've done before. So that way I keep the measurements, everything the same. So let's just go to another beam real fast. Doesn't matter what beam, they're all... Okay, let's take this beam. So here's a beam I haven't printed yet. It's going to be printed sometime today. I'm just looking for where this part is going to be. Keeps wanting to go there, so let's take a look. Yeah, okay. So change the view. Oh, come on. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Copy. And close that. Switch to where we were working. And I'm going to select the side. I'm going to go sketch, sketch. Change the view to there. Paste what we just did. I'm going to do a construction line so I can get the center of this here to there, 10 millimeters. Center line right there, 90 degrees. Copy. Take this right there. Oh, you know what? Better yet, cancel this. Here's something. Go to the... It's hidden, okay? It's the front plane. Select that. Go sketch. And then paste what I just did right in there. But I'll show you why. It's basically knocks down two items at once. Features, extruded cut. So take that object, extrude, make an extrusion that will be a cut of this shape to this surface right there. And then direction 2 to this surface right here. So then I go, okay. And I have it right there. Two birds with one stone. So now I'm going to choose the right plane, the top plane, and I'm going to do the same thing. Change the view to there. Take this. But it's the other Well, is there any advantage? Should I rotate it or keep it like that? I guess because this is a square, well, a cube, I have an option. Oh no, okay, this was also like that. Okay, we'll just leave it like that then. I won't rotate the object 90 degrees or anything like that. So extruded cuts from surface, let's say right here, and other side up to surface right here. Okay. Save this work. So now I'm going to take the fillet tool again. This time I'm just going to fillet along the inside of it. I mean the outside, just the outside edge. So this will be flat, the outside, but the inside I'm thinking would be nice if I gave it some strength. Mostly, like if I put a peg of some sort, maybe the peg might need more surface area. So if I put glue, the glue would have more surface area to grab. So what I'm going to do here is edit each side. And I'm going to sketch that. I'm going to select offset. And I'm going to make an offset of 1 millimeter. Actually, let's go 1.5 millimeter. Make it a little bit thicker. I'm just thinking, is it necessary 1.5? No, let's put it back at 1 millimeter. Now I'm going to select all the edges here. I want the other direction there. Right there, right there. Okay, this is step one. So I made an offset, but notice how it's all shaded on the inside? That means if I were to extrude this right now, it's going to treat it as one solid object, being extruded. But I want to have this oval open. So I'm going to do another another offset. I'm going to say select chain, select all of these at 1 millimeter in the reverse direction. Now I'm back at the original outline. Select that. And I'm going to go ahead and extrude this. One millimeter is good. Okay, almost done. Just got to do this 3 more times, and then I got to do another little part, and then another little part, and then this part will be finished. So this, select this. I'm going to say offset, sketch, offset. I can't select chain at this point because it's not going to work for just the edges without anything already done. If I were to have a sketch, like right now I have a sketch, then I can select offset and the select chain will work. Well, it'd be nice to select it. Okay, so now I'm going to feature, extrude. There. It's a little laggy. I think the laggy is because it's doing a lot of processing with the video stream. So now I'm going to select that one again, do this again. Oh, I don't want to select all of that, sorry. If I were to highlight something and select the offset tool, yeah, it'll automatically take an outline, but I want to do this. How it look 1 millimeter in, so reverse. offset, select chain. Okay, features, extrude, 1 millimeter. Okay, and one more thing, just one more time, right here. So sketch, sketch, offset. There, 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 there. Okay, offset again, select chain. Okay, reverse, features, extrude. Okay, so almost done. What I'm going to do here is, instead of the fillet tool, I'm going to choose a chamfer tool. This has the same idea as fillets, but it's going to be straight sides instead of curves. So I extruded this out 1 millimeter. I also made this thing, extruded it 1 millimeter thick. So I'm just going to say 1 millimeter at 45-degree angle. Get all around. So then I just do this for each piece. And almost done, almost done. I'm going to select fillet. And I'm going to select the inner edges here. And I'm going to do one more fillet on the outside part. I'm going to say this one, though, instead of being 0.25. Did I select it? Okay. I'm going to say, let's just do 0.5, 0.5. So can I simply select this? Nah. So I'll select like that, that, that. So that way when it prints, it'll be a smoother print. Sometimes if the parts are too slim, too thin, then when you make changes on one side of a wall, the other side you will see an effect. So to minimize that, you want to smooth everything out gradually. So that way the printer doesn't change direction as it prints abruptly. Everything's gradual, everything prints fine, prints nice and smooth. Yeah, I think we're done. So save this part. So it'll print standing up. The pieces on the inside, so just take a quick look for your enjoyment. As it prints, okay, the printer is going to go up. It's going to gradually go up across that, gradually go up on that, go up straight, go up the sides, and gradually go up on this. So, and then if all this is going to be supported, then it's going to have a supporting arc on the top. Same thing with this part's going to be a supporting arc right here. And then it's going to be print. It's going to be a nice little print. So let's get out of this view. Okay, we already saved it. I'm going to say save as STL. STL. Yes. So we're done here. Now for the next step, I'm going to do some more stuff later today, so I'm not going to get rid of these. But for the next step, I'm going to minimize. Actually, I'm going to stop the screen here. I'm going to bring up the slicing software for the 3D printer. So the printer's loading up, so obviously stop screen. Now, as soon as the printer screen comes up, I will share that. I think I need a coaster. Put the drink, it's condensating, and I put it on top of the computer. And the computer is nice metal, so I hope it doesn't rust. So Cura has not appeared yet. So I'm using Cura as the software for slicing. So twiddle my thumbs and wait. Play some Jeopardy music. So come on, come on. I don't know why it's taking time. Cura always takes time. I'm minimizing the screen to take a look. Cura always takes time to load up for me. Oh, there goes. So I'm going to, usually there's a splash screen, but I didn't see the splash screen this time. So let's see, let's share this screen. Share screen, share screen, application window, Cura, share. Okay, can you all see this? Go right here in case there's any comments. So, I am simply going to do drag and drop. Go to the STL directory. We call this side wall horizontal beam 2-1. So just drag it. Okay, there it goes. I'm going to make this one 25% infill. Probably thin enough, it won't really make a difference. Skirt is fine. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. 35. Reduce the what you call it, the resolution. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. Oh, not that way. Rotate it here. 90 degrees. And I'm just going to position it. Let's say right about there. Easy to take off. So let's do a quick little preview. So when the print does its thing, this is what we'll expect. Just printing here, the infill right there. Gonna go up. Maybe I can angle it like this, a little bit easier for you guys to see. That's it. So 224 layers. Okay, it'll take 48 minutes. I'm going to save it. Save to file, save as. There. Save as this. There. Okay, now I can end this. Now let's see. Oh, getting a little cold. We'll turn off the fan. What would be a good? I gotta use this printer here because this printer is getting low on plastic or filament, so I'm going to have to change it. Okay. Okay. So that's printer number 8. So I'm going to go ahead and copy. This is drive G. Open a new window. VSS 002. Delete what was there before. Take the G code, copy this here. So I need to do 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, just 4. Close this. Take it out. Computer, turn on Mini Select 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So, print. Okay. Make sure the right temperature, the right speed. All set. Okay, and in 48 minutes, one of them will be done. And with that, I think the only thing else I got to do on the VSS for today is once the paint dries, which it's probably dry now, the ABS floor, put that in. And so far, I won't glue anything yet. I want to first, I want to see how this is going to work with those beams. Then I'm going to test out the way the pegs work with the ABS, and if that works there, then I'll see about gluing. Then the next step will be to no, I'm thinking the next step will be probably the styrene sheet. I'll need to laser cut the styrene itself, kind of make it look like what I did here. Then this will be last. I don't have to actually do this. Now, one piece that I need to do is, and I don't have any to show you here, but it's an acrylic that looks like aluminum. So that's going to be a little outline on the VSS by the main door over there. And so once I have that ready, I'll laser cut that and I'll apply it. And so I'm trying to think what else. I guess at that point I can start gluing the ABS. So that's what I got to do for that section there. The other thing is I need to do some more beams for the underside of the engine room. And I have a number of these items that I have printed. So I need to print another set of this. This is like 5-6 hours. So I need to print 2 more, and then I'll be able to complete the other side of the engine room. And hopefully by then I'll have more of the inside engine room part done, and I'll be able to start assembling it. So in other words, I'm getting close to finishing up the small items. After the interior of the engine room there, it's a number of these larger beams for the outer engine room, and then I need to do the outer walls of the engine room, the upper hull ceiling part of it. Then interior beams for this side of the VSS, and then basically that will be the completion for the engine room. Then I can work on the rest of the stuff. So it's a lot of work. Maybe 2 more weeks, because the work is going pretty good. So there was a setback. One of my laser cutters started to act crazy, went bad. So a replacement part is on the way. So I'm relying on 2 other laser cutters to take up the slack for that. So what I'm thinking about here is putting some styrene on the back part, make the walls kind of shiny and clean. That way, when I put this type of color gray on the back, that could be like a little idea, with the shiny styrene and the gray, it kind of looks good. So you can imagine a console going across, other little details, maybe some joisting, crisscrossing, other little details like that. And you'll get to see it should look good in terms of color. And then, of course, when I put the LED lights and all that stuff, things should look good. So that's it for today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. What I'm going to do now is resume the orders. So it's going to get loud. All of these printers here are going to get turned on. And I have more orders going out for Monday. So expect to see some of that. Expect to see some emails with shipping information. And this coming week, I have some large orders. I say large. What I mean by large in this case is there's a bunch of small parts that's just going to take time to do. And so those will be going out by the end of the week. And that's it. Be all caught up by then. I hope. So, okay. So, back to work. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And I'll see you maybe tonight. I still want to do like a review for a figure or something. So, we'll see how that goes. All right. Have a good one.